So, you know the feeling. You held it together in that meeting, on that call. Your voice was level. There was no sign of tension in your face, no stress. And then it's over, and now you're alone. Perhaps in the car, in the stairs, in the back of a taxi, and your hands are shaking. It went fine. You were good. Everyone said so. So why still tense? It's an hour later, and you are still tense for a thing that's done, it's over, that you completed. So here's the thing of it. That stress, that reaction in your body is not created by the stress of the meeting, of the call. You just never stopped holding your breath afterwards. Hi, I'm Damian, and welcome to the Somatic Frequency. A few years ago, I worked with a chap called Dale. Dale was a business recovery agent. He was one of the guys they sent in when the company's looking like it's going under. So he was perfectly used to dealing with frightened rooms, with people who were going to lose everything. And they were all looking to him. All looking to him to create a parachute, to create an easy way out, to make it calm. And he was very, very good at it. In his own words, once he'd finished the meetings, once he'd met with the families whose businesses were going under, once he'd met with the directors who were struggling, after those meetings, he said, I shut the door. And somehow I couldn't turn the key. My hands were going. My hands were shaking. He said, I was the calm one all the way through. That's what people look to me for. They look to me to be that anchor point, to be the calm. And then when I get into the car park, when I'm sat on my car behind my steering wheel, I feel like I've just come off a battlefield. This is not down to nerves. This is not down to weakness. His nervous system is still back in the room he just left. And it's true. He would meet with families, 30-year-old businesses that were failing. Staff that they pretty much treated like their own family that they were going to have to let go. And everybody was watching him. And Dale was magnificent. He was level, he was calm, he was unhurried. And he had a natural empathy about him, a natural understanding, which made it warm, which made it felt. And for hours he would hold that room steady. His quiet, calm authority would act like a cocoon around everyone. He was that one still point, that one anchor. And that whole time, and these meetings would go on for hours, that whole time his breath was locked, high in the chest. That's exactly how he does it, how he maintains that calm, by holding his breath, not completely, but just high in the chest. He's not calm, he's holding. And once he does walk out to the car and shuts that door, there's nothing needs him to be steady now. Yeah, that held breath is just waiting to finish. And that shows itself through the shaking. That shows itself through the nerves. Now, Dale said he for years he thought it was just the adrenaline. It was just the adrenaline draining away, and that's half right. But the truth is the adrenaline doesn't need a car park. That moment of waiting until he was alone and it was safe, that was never only chemistry. That was his nervous system saying, that was heavy. That was intense, and I'm still holding it. But this isn't just about recovery agents. This is about anybody who's been the calm one, who's been the steady one. And then after the tension has passed, has felt like it's hit them in the face. So, just for a moment, if it's appropriate to do so, just settle back. And just notice your breath as you're listening. You don't change it, just notice it. Notice how deep it is in your body. Is it high in the chest? Notice the flow of the breath. Does it hold a little at the top? Like a body that sits ready for years. Now, take a normal breath in and just hold it, just for a moment. Notice that little holding. That's the thing you do in the room, in the meeting, on the call, all day long. So now just let it go. Don't push it. Just stop holding it. Let it drop. Your shoulders lowering naturally, just a little. Now the next breath, just let it find its way naturally. Low, slow, relaxed. There, feel that? That's the thing Dell couldn't do in the car. The breath finishing on purpose. You didn't calm down first. You didn't manage anything. You just let a held breath end. And you did that sitting still with nothing to hold. So the real skill is when you're steady outside, well, the breath moves underneath it. Where you can be that calm one, that steady one, that strong one in the center of the room. The beacon that everybody is looking to. And underneath it, the breath moves naturally. Hold and release at the same time. So it isn't carried out after the meeting, after the call. This really isn't being bad at handling pressure. That's one truth of it. You're extraordinary at handling pressure. You can't take that away from you. Just nobody's ever shown you the other half, because that's the bit that happens after the meeting. How to let that breath finish. So in your next difficult room, in your next difficult meeting, in that time when you have to have steady, calm authority, that doesn't change. But underneath, just take a moment and notice the breath moving quietly, holding the room and letting go. And when you walk out, when you get into the car, to the taxi, when you take those steps down and just drive home, there's no shaking waiting in the car for you because you didn't carry it out. What you felt, you did with nothing on the line. You let the held breath finish. That holding was never the enemy. That is the capable part of you. That's the one that makes you the beacon. And that's the thing that kept you and everyone around you safe more times than you know. However, once the meeting's done, once the call's done, then it's time to put it down, and that's the bit that's been missing. And so it's been dragging you down. It's been that moment at 2 a.m. when you're laying, looking at your ceiling. When you come out of that big meeting and it is so successful, you should be cheering, and yet it feels flat. So this isn't about learning to relax. This is about finishing the breath you've been holding. So, This podcast, these episodes are all about using somatics to understand your body, to understand your nervous system, to really release it a little bit. So the day is a better place for you. But there is so much more you can do with it. Your nervous system is such a powerful thing within you. And people just don't utilize it enough. That's the truth of it. We treat it as the enemy, and it isn't. It can be our friend. Now, the process to this, I've created a 3-day course. It's free. It's just 3 audios to open the door to this, to show you the potential that your nervous system holds, how it could be your next super weapon, really. The link is in the episode's notes. Just click on it, drop an email, and the 3 audios will turn up. Now on Sunday, we're going to be going into a deeper somatic session on this. And we're going to see how the breath can actually finish inside the room, inside that moment of tension. So it flows at the same time. So it never leaves the room, which is the ideal situation. Now, if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe. You don't want to miss a single episode. So until next time, you can know that this episode is complete. Take a nice deep breath and let it go, and enjoy the rest of your day.